What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Latin Explaining. My name is Denise Gonzalez. For those who do not know me, for those who do, welcome, guys. It's nice to be here again. I hope everybody has had so far an amazing week and very productive week. Let's not forget that we're approaching the end of the summer, fall is coming, and winter is coming, like we stated on the last live stream. I see that JS, Jose, and Morena already started the chat. Welcome, guys. It's nice to have you guys here. As usual, I always encourage everybody, please like this video and also subscribe if you haven't done so. And if you want to, you can also share with friends and family or with your social media. So, guys, like I announced last week, today and Monday will be the last episodes of this season of Latin Explaining, and we will be back in the fall, aka October. Mid-October, we will be back. Next Monday, I will give you guys the exact date on when I'm going to be back in October. I'm going to take a hiatus. I need a vacation. We have planned this vacation for so long, and to be honest with you, I cannot wait to take a break. Okay, so definitely, guys, I will let you guys know next Monday when I'm going to be back exactly, so that you guys know. So make sure you enjoyed this last series of this season of Latin Explaining, which is the End of Retail. And like I said, I'm very proud of what we have done so far. There's so much other topics to discuss that we will have to discuss on the new season, so stay tuned for that. Also, I postponed Latin Explaining on the road, which a lot of people have been asking me for winter. So that's why I have not, bring it to the channel yet, because it's still in the works. So it will be pushed for winter, unfortunately, but it's coming. I can guarantee you guys that it's coming. I see that JS says his work week it's over. Well, you know how we do it here, JS. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, sit comfortably and enjoy, because today's show is about to start. Now, guys, today I'm bringing two different news of stuff that I have encountered. I'm gonna start with the least exciting one, obviously, because it's more on the sad side. Unfortunately, there's a 21-year-old Puerto Rican young man that was killed in a hit and run. Um, well, basically, a car crash due to a DUI in the state of Florida. And we're talking about, unfortunately, 21-year-old Kevin J. Mendez from Puerto Rico. His mother was still in Puerto Rico. He decided to move to Florida with his girlfriend that was pregnant at the time and to look for more opportunities. When he was coming out of work, unfortunately, somebody ran into him, and that person was under the influence of alcohol. And that person was Michael J. Crowley. Now, you might not understand why am I bringing this to the channel, but in reality, it's been 3 months since this happened, and Michael J. Crowley has not been charged. The mom of Kevin's mom has been calling for justice for several months, going to the police, asking for reports, asking for something to happen with her child. And she's starting to slowly believe that the reason why this is not getting more, you know, like an expedited process is because her son is of Puerto Rican descent, which is something we don't like to talk. Like, that's really what's happening, but it's pretty obvious that, because the state of Florida is one of the states where with the worst drivers. Let's just point that out there. That's the first thing. Second of all, they don't play with DUIs. If you are under the influence, trust me, the state of Florida is very harsh on that type of stuff. So I don't understand why the media is not bringing up this story, and also the police is completely shut down when it comes to this case, unfortunately, of this 21-year-old. Now, something that was really sad to hear is that his girlfriend actually had to be in the scene while pregnant. She gave birth. He never got to meet his daughter, and all because of this man. And I'm bringing you guys some audio of Kevin's mom when she was interviewed by Silvia Hernandez from Puerto Rico, which is the only person that's covering this story, in mainstream media. So I want you guys to hear what the mom has to say about the whole process. It's going to be in Spanish, unfortunately. I will try to translate as much as I can for the people that don't know Spanish, but I hope you guys can hear the whole thing.
La realidad es que me lo mató al instante, no hubo break. Fue como si le hubieran apagado la luz. Este conductor estaba normal. Cuando le hicieron la prueba pericial, ¿no? La de que él camina y que camina en un solo pie, literalmente él no la pasó. E inclusive el policía me dice que el señor olía alcohol junto con la persona que iba con él en el carro, porque había una persona que lo acompañaba. De hecho, le preguntó de dónde venían y él le dice que sí, que venían de tomarse unas cuantas cervezas. Mi corazón de mamá está destruido por dos cosas. Porque no tengo a mi hijo y lo perdí al instante. Y porque las autoridades de la Florida están herméticamente callados. No me dicen absolutamente nada, nadie me da información. El policía a cargo de la investigación, que es el señor Agner Herrera, he tratado de comunicarme con él en varias ocasiones y realmente ha sido infructuoso. La última vez que me pude comunicar con él fue el día 30 de junio, donde me dio una información brief, e inclusive lo que me dijo fue que la persona que accidentó a mi hijo, incluso a su entender una buena persona, a lo cual yo por poco, me puse histérica, porque, mi hijo también era una buena persona y mi hijo no existe. Entonces no puedo entender por qué no han radicado cargo, no puedo entender en qué parte de la investigación, si alguna, está el caso de mi hijo, si ni siquiera lo han consultado con un fiscal. Honestamente, Silvia, no tengo detalles. Entonces, mi corazón de mamá me dice, ¿qué estamos esperando? Que quizás por desconocimiento. No sé realmente si esto caduca a los 5 años, no sé si esto caduca al año, que los casos, que el caso prescriba y sea un caso más que engaveten quizás debajo de una alfombra simple y llanamente porque mi hijo es hispano.
¿Usted estaba en Puerto Rico en el momento en que le avisan de esta situación?
Sí, fue horrible, Silvia. Estaba en Puerto Rico, recibo la llamada como eso de las 2:30 de la madrugada, se podrá imaginar. No me dicen nada, lo único que me dicen es estoy llamando a Kevin y no lo coge. Y pues como mamá se podrá imaginar, me desesperé y honestamente no le puedo decir ni cuántas llamadas le hice. Creo que como 30 le hice y al no contestarme mi corazón de mamá me decía que algo había pasado. Y en efecto, su novia salió y le dije, ¿sabes qué? Tienes que salir a buscarlo porque no va a regresar. Mi corazón de mamá me lo dice. Y cuando salió, no pasaron 5 minutos. Cuando me llama y me dice, mira mamá, ¿sabes que en efecto Kevin tuvo un accidente? Y mi corazón de mamá le dice, pues pónmelo, está bien. Desconocía de verdad y ante la distancia, yo en Puerto Rico, él en Orlando. Y me dice, mamá, no te lo puedo poner porque él falleció al instante. Por poco me muero. Imagínense mi impotencia, no poderme montar en un carro e ir a buscarlo.
Pues se suponía que pudiera ser el momento más hermoso de la vida tuya y de tu hijo, Kevin, que en paz descanse. Es que él se convirtió en papá, pero obviamente no estuvo para ver nacer a su bebé.
Eso es correcto, Silvia. El día 27 de julio nació Kaden. Kaden Javier. Quizás un pedacito de cielo aquí en la tierra que él me dejó. Pero la realidad es, Silvia, que no hay nada en el mundo que reemplace la ausencia de mi hijo. Es devastador. Esa es la palabra, es devastador. Ir a ver al bebé, tenerlo en mis brazos y saber que esa era su ilusión. Yo quisiera, por favor, que fueran un poco empáticos, que se pusieran en mi lugar, que si alguien que me está viendo es mamá, es papá, tienen la posibilidad de dormir con sus hijos hoy y darle un abrazo y recibirlos cuando lleguen del trabajo y preguntarles qué tal les fue. Por favor, ayúdame a poder esclarecer el caso de mi hijo, por favor, se los pido de todo corazón.
Well, basically, that was the expressions of the mom, and she explained how she found out, how she felt something was not right because you know how Latina moms are usually like hovering all over you. I don't know if you guys have experiences with your mothers, but you have to call them every single day and notify them that you're okay. Especially, you know, Puerto Rican moms. I don't know about the rest of Latin American moms, but Latina moms, in my opinion, have that sixth sense simply because they actually are very invested in where their kids are. So when she didn't got her usual phone calls from her son. Unfortunately, um she felt something wasn't right because he always communicated with her and whatnot. So, you know, she started trying to question and she called him several times. He never responded. And eventually she told Kevin's girlfriend to actually go and fly over there and try to look for him. And then eventually she went over there. And to be honest with you, you know, this is something that it keeps, like I said, this is not just my opinion, but it keeps smelling more like stuff like what Radical Latino has explained to us for so many years. We're perceived in the same way, and that status, unfortunately, is not an elevated status. So, of course, the justice system for us here is almost non existent when it comes to people from other communities. So, I don't want to get too much into that, but I will keep you guys posted on what's happening. If you can, please repost this information regarding this case. And if it wasn't Michael J. Crowley, the person that ran him over and killed this father and, you know, boyfriend of somebody and someone's son, then who was it? You know, this kid, he was only 21 year old. He was only 21 years old. Um, Morena says, me too, Denise, 100%. I have to know you're okay. Yes. So, like I said, Latina mothers know because they keep tabs on their children, no matter how old you are. You can be 40 years old and you still have to make them and let them know that you're okay. So definitely, like I said, this kid deserves justice. That's the only thing that his family is going to get out of this, because he's not, unfortunately, they can't have him back. He's not coming back. So, like I said, if you guys can actually share this information, look into the whole situation. um, I will bring you guys more on this story as it develops, but we just literally found out about this. I see that Jose Negron says, in the last few months of my mother's life, and call my mom 3 times a day. Yeah, that's how it is. And you see, Jose is not 21 or 16 or nothing. He was a grown man already, with his life already going for him, but he still had to call his mother to let her know that he was okay. So definitely, guys, like I said, this was a very tragic case that I wanted to bring on, because I wanted to get this done before we got into today's topic. Now, moving from this whole situation, OnlyFans will ban pornography starting in October, citing need to comply with financial partners. Oh, God. Oh my God. For so many months, we have been telling OnlyFans users, you guys need a profession. You guys need to do something. Like, producing porn and sex is not going to be a sustainable economy. I know I have said this since January, and a lot of people, like usual, came for me to insult me and my persona and my partner and my doings and the way I talk and whatnot, simply because they could not see reality. A lot of people thought that I was crazy, but look at this. Now, OnlyFans will ban pornography, and in a statement that they released today, that was literally just today at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, they said OnlyFans, which has amassed a base of more than 130 million users, largely for adult-oriented subscriptions, fan pages, announced that it will ban sexually explicit content this fall. The UK-based company said it is making the changes to comply with the request of our banking partners and payout providers, in a statement provided to Variety. Effective October 1st, 2021, OnlyFans will prohibit the posting of any content containing sexually explicit conduct. The company said in a statement, in order to ensure the long term sustainability of the platform and to continue to host an inclusive community of creators and fans, we must evolve our content guidelines. So, money talks. And when your partners, when your partners that are giving you the money to do certain things and investing in OnlyFans are telling you, we don't want to see this influx, is hurting the economy, let's shut it down, you do it. So even though OnlyFans made billions of dollars as a result of the boom of sex, the sex industry that took over the OnlyFans site that wasn't initially created for that. After they bank on all the billions, enough is enough. Now, it's time to go back to the fast food, to your jobs, or actually acquire better education, because it's a wrap. So definitely, like I said, all these girls that thought that they were going to be banking on sexual content on OnlyFans will have a hard time. I think a lot of positions are going to be fulfilled, and the economy will start moving a little bit more. So definitely, guys, that's what's going on with OnlyFans. I see that Music Only said Sims will be big mad. Stone simping for hours. And it said they're just gonna make another app using that blueprint. Yeah, you know what's crazy? They released shortly after that one another release saying that they're still going to allow some kind of nudity and whatnot, but they're not going to have the extra explicit, no threshold type of situation for OnlyFans. So of course, yes, Terrell, it's basically gonna be like no more porn. It's going to be more like, I guess, I don't know, something more covered up or whatever. But they say they will release later on the new guidelines of OnlyFans. So, of course, you know, I will be keeping you guys posted. But to me, this was hilarious as this was the most hilarious thing that I have heard in a while, especially because a lot of ladies used to tell us that, this was going to last forever, that don't criticize my lifestyle. I can do whatever I want. I'm independent, blah, 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 blah. And Morena says, poor men, what will they watch now? I do not know. I do not know, Morena. They're gonna be like Music Only said, big mad. Uh, Rakim says, like the Notorious Big said, don't be mad. Ops is hiring. Jose says they will watch Pornhub. Jose, you know what's up. You know what's up. Music Only says, why will OnlyFans go against what make them money? Are they dumb? Okay, I'm going to give you my unsolicited opinion. I know nobody else, but I'm going to give you my opinion on that. Usually, when things are trying to go mainstream, which is basically to attract different demographics, they have to abandon what drove them there. Take an example, for example, reggaeton. When reggaeton started, it was so underground, but it was very explicit. They could say whatever the hell they wanted. They could do whatever they want. The music videos were very explicit. Like Cardi B has nothing on those videos. Okay. And continuing with that, eventually when they start getting into radio and whatnot, they start having to transition into a more commercial type of music. The music videos needed to be a little bit more covered up. They needed to create music for teenagers, children, parents, and stuff like that. So of course we saw a lot of reggaeton songs that everybody could listen to, that you could play even on a birthday. So now obviously we saw the same thing with trap. The same thing applies to OnlyFans. It started with a purpose. Then sex overtook the whole platform, made it grow. And when it grew, of course, now they're creating OnlyFans TV. They don't want that on the TV because that's a network basically. So of course, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with the sex workers that used to use that platform. So like I said, it's so crazy. I see that Ramon is here. What's up, Ramon? ¿Cómo está? He says there's still Pornhub, X videos, etc. Yeah, porn is going to still be created. My thing is that now they go back to either the pornography agencies to get hired and see if they can get hired, and it's going to be for less than that. It's going to be for less than that. And well, a lot of them I don't think are going to do that, to be honest with you. But to be completely fair, probably they can make a living with something else. Ramon says, I remember that time after Rosselló confiscated all the explicit CDs from the stores. Yeah, I remember all that stuff too. It's like I said, everything starts like that. Everything that is groundbreaking and whatnot usually goes through that phase, and it's not an exception for OnlyFans. I see that Music Only says sex work is not real work. Well, it is work. It's because it has. I mean, just because we don't approve of it or we don't subscribe to that lifestyle, that doesn't mean that it's not real work. That is work. You have to work for something. So as long as you're doing an activity, a physical activity for money, it is work to me. Now, like I said, we don't subscribe by that, but it's still work. Rakim says, look at YouTube now. I remember when this platform was no holds barred, and slowly but surely they went commercial and changed the platform. Yeah, of course. As you get more people in the mix putting money, they have more opinions. And of course, they're going to start reshaping or reframing the image of your brand as you bring people in. So of course you can't please everybody, but at the end of the day, you have to find a common ground on how to make the people that give you money happy. Because at the end of the day, they're not doing this platform for us. It's basically to enrich a group of people. Let's just be honest about that. I don't know if you guys have watched The Social Dilemma. If you have not watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, it's time to watch it so that you guys understand what I'm talking about. If you watch it, then you know what's up. Maceo, welcome. Maceo says, la profesión más vieja del mundo. Yeah, the oldest profession in the world. Ramon says the same thing. Sex work has been around since the beginning of time. Yes, of course. Hi, Johnny Mills. Gervoni says, where's all the viewers? Why do people start drama get more views? This is educational. Well, you know what, Gervoni, is the problem is, like I've always said, when I started Latin Explaining, I started this platform to speak to 10% of the people in this community, because I know not all people are going to understand what we're talking about, either because they are not educated on this, or either because they really don't have any interest on changing their mindset. So that's why, you see the majority of people going into spaces that are just for entertainment. That's the way I see it. And the circus always entertains. Come on now. You really don't have to do nothing. You just sit there and laugh. And well, like I said, I don't criticize that. Everybody needs to do their own thing, but just responding to what you were saying, that's just my view on that. I see that Rakim says music only. Oh, it's real sex work is the oldest profession on this earth. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the majority of people like being brain dead. Yeah, they like to be comfortable. So definitely, like I said, guys, this is just, it's normal to me. So if you enjoy talking about things of substance, trust me, you're going to love my content. If you just want to chill watching YouTube, you're going to find it absolutely boring and you cannot understand it. Now, guys, going back to the OnlyFans situation, I'll keep you guys posted on what's up. The minute that OnlyFans releases another statement regarding what they will allow in their platform, I will bring you guys the news. But it's super funny to see this. It's super funny. Now let's just keep it moving. Let's see what's going on in the sports sector. Now, LeBron James, the King James, LeBron James today realized that he did not receive one single vote from the scouts or the league executives to be considered even to be the MVP player in the league for this 2021-2022 season. And to what he responded, thank you, as if I didn't need more to gas me. #WashKing. So at the end of the day, I know a lot of people hate LeBron James. I've always been a fan. I am so sorry. So to be honest with you, I don't care if he doesn't get voted in. We all know LeBron is on the older side now, about to be retired in a few years, whether he wants it or not, because his time, everybody gets a prime and then they decay after that. So of course LeBron's time is coming. So we're not going to see the stronger LeBron that we saw at 18 years old in the NBA, or even at 28. We're not going to see that. Of course, he has had some decay. And to a lot of people, the love to this on LeBron James, I'm going to tell you something. Most of the seasons that LeBron James played, his team, no matter where he was, made it to the playoffs. So LeBron is not a bomb off the street. He's an actually great player. And it's like I've always said, he's not the king because he's a point guard and he has this amazing clutch and whatnot. LeBron James is the king simply because for a very long time in the NBA, in my opinion, he was one of the most complete basketball players in the NBA. So that's what made LeBron James a king, in my opinion. He's not going to be your typical Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant. He's not going to be those type of dudes, or even Steph Curry, but he is the most complete basketball player that we had for a very long time in the NBA. So kudos to LeBron. To me, he will always go down as the king. in the NBA. So definitely it was hilarious to see his reactions now. He's getting on the funny side. And I hope that at some point, if you agree with me, I hope that at some point LeBron James turns into they bring him in as the commentary speaker for the NBA at some point, like they did with Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, and whatnot, and even Shaquille O'Neal. I hope that LeBron turns into one of those, and at some point they bring him to do some commentary. So definitely, guys. Oh my God, that was just hilarious. Let me read some of the comments. I see that Justin Trouble is here. Rakim says, LeBron is my boy, but they mopped in the first round. Yeah, like I said, LeBron is not going to be your typical Kobe Bryant, out of the bench player, 90 points in a game. He's never going to be that type of person. He's a different player. And for that, we have to admire him a lot. Johnny Mills said, just remember him and Kobe Bryant used to go against each other back in the early 2000s. Yes, of course. How many times we were at the edge of our couches in the middle of the night when it was super late. I know I was. And we were seeing Lakers and Heat playing against each other. Okay, we will see, even when he was in the Cavaliers at the beginning, we will see him playing his ass off. I don't know if you guys even remember the three biggest players, the three of the Miami Heat for a while, Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron James. And I love all those games. I enjoyed those seasons. I don't know about you guys, but it hurt me when he went back to the Cavaliers. Now I see that Justin Trouble says, Lakers all the way next year, Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. Yes, they're going to win, okay? The Lakers are going to win, in my opinion. I know we have the Clippers and whatnot, and their team is starting to look very strong. But I believe that the Lakers will win next year. I could be wrong, but I could also be the oracle telling you this. Jabron has said, I like LeBron's athletics, but not his talking points. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. To be determined, TBD. Rakim says, LeBron was very dominant, and I'm a big fan. Yeah, me too. Me too. I absolutely love LeBron James inside and outside the court. He's one of the most decent NBA players that we've seen in modern era. Let's just say that, okay? Let's not forget Tristan Thompson. Thank you. Thank me later. Now, moving from funny to funnier, there is something going on with the Yankees. If you are a New Yorker, I do not want to talk to you today. I do not want to continue. You guys know how protective of the Yankees the New Yorkers are. They're unbearable. And all the Yankees fans throughout the United States, Andrew Velasquez won and positioned the Yankees at the very last moment of the game on top of the Red Sox from Boston. And to be honest with you, this is starting to look a little tight for the Red Sox, but definitely it was Puerto Rican Andrew Velasquez who brought it home in the last game. And I know that all these Yankee fans are just unbearable right now, okay? Because I don't know if you guys remember, I think in the what happened, Morena? What happened? No, look at Jose. They won 27 titles. Enough said. What did I tell you? Yankee fans are unbearable right now. Avoid them at all costs. I remember when in the early 2000s the Marlins won, even in Puerto Rico, you had to avoid the Marlins fans. Okay? I'm not even making this up, guys. If you know a New Yorker, you have a New Yorker friend or whatnot, avoid them like the plague. They will drive you crazy. And if you want to talk to them and whatnot, talk to them. But the minute they try to hint at baseball, run for your life. Moreno says, I don't care about baseball, but do love my city. Yeah, of course. The city of New York is loved by New Yorkers very much. But you guys with the Yankees, you guys are already annoying as hell. Imagine when you're winning. Jose says, no, we are truthful. Don't be a hater. No. You guys, oh my God, you guys, yeah, can be very, very unbearable. So definitely, guys, that is what's going on in the sports. Let me know what you think in the comment section if you're catching the replay. For all the people that are jumping in, make sure you like this video and also subscribe if you haven't done so. And when you subscribe, to the people that keep messaging me regarding not seeing or coming in late, please know that when you subscribe, there's a bell on the right side and it says personalized, all, and none. You have to select all. So when I go live, you get a notification because that's the way the algorithm works now. So definitely, guys, that has been all for sports and news today. Let's just jump into our main topic. Our main topic. Look at Jose's commentary. There are three things to honor: God, mom, and the Yankees. Jesus Christ. Now, guys, the main topic says, Ramon says, but you are Puerto Rican. You're supposed to be a Yankees fan. No, I am not a Yankees fan. I am supporting Javier Molina in the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, so don't come at me. I'm not a Yankee fan, never been. I think the only time I was a Yankee fan was for like 2 years, but it's because I was obsessed with everything that A-Rod did when it came to the sport. And I was a super A-Rod fan. I still am a A-Rod fan. So, and I hated the fact that he could not have his record just for 3 freaking hits. So, of course, it was tough. But anyway, going back to the main topic, the end of retail. You guys know that Monday we were talking about how the end of retail is here, that a lot of people don't understand what's going on, that a lot of people believe that, they always, yeah, I always go a la inversa. La terquedad. But anyway, going back to what I was saying. The whole ending of retail, that a lot of people believe that they're going to just jump out and go back into all the positions that they were before the lockdowns of the C-19 and this whole pandemic frenzy. And that some people think that their manufacturing or their retail jobs are going to be there until they retire, and they have just set roots on those jobs instead of just getting themselves a high earning profession. And something that I got like mixed different messages and emails and whatnot of people talking to me about, how some of them did not understand what I was talking about. Some people did not realize that this was happening. Some people found it absolutely interesting and wanted me to touch base on a lot of things. And because I had so many people messaging me, and I said I was going to do a part 2, I want to go a little bit deeper into what it is, but I'm going to try my best to simplify for you guys that have requested me to simplify it a little bit more so you can understand it. I'm going to try to simplify it as much as I can so that you guys understand what's going on. And more than anything, I'm not trying to make people panic about this situation. This is not something that we should panic. We should see it as an opportunity. Right now, the world is about to go into a reset or a change, and we have the opportunity before it happens to prepare. And that is the best thing that we can actually do. So, it's time to talk about this, given the fact that I say we have 8 years. Melanie and I told me try 3 years. But, like I said, in my opinion, we have still 8 years. The whole transition, in my personal opinion, won't happen until 2030. So definitely, guys, like I said, there's nothing better to actually face change than to prepare for it. So there's nothing to be scared about when it comes to automation or the ending of retail or AI and whatnot. The same thing happened when the IT era happened, but because people did not prepare for it, The same way people did not prepare for the industrial transition into retail in the 1929, 1930s, people's finances collapsed, while others thrived. So at the end of the day, if you don't believe me, look at, if you drink Modelo, look at your cerveza Modelo and look at the years that it was founded, and you will realize that some people actually did make a lot of money out of that transaction, that massive transaction that left a lot of people in a workforce limbo. Now, going back to today's topic, I want to start with the fact that what is automation? A lot of people don't understand what automation is, and basically I'm going to try to simplify. Automation is when we replace something that a human can do, and instead of you inputting information like the IT era brought into, data entry and all that stuff, instead of you having to do that, we're going to minimize the middle person between machine and action, and now it's going to be an automatic service. So instead of you inputting data, the machine has the intelligence or the technology to acknowledge what you're doing. So of course, it's going to work as an algorithm and work on its own, have its own language and its own function. And it's going to be a higher capacity function, not like the ones we are used to have, which is like us introducing information into the computer and then the computer does something. Right now, we can even speak to devices in our homes. That's the best example I can give you of like automation. It's, for example, we used to have taxis until, I would say, 7, 8 years ago, when two people decided to create Uber and Lyft. And instead of you having to call the taxi company and a person inputting your information and contacting a taxi driver to go pick you up, that person that was on the phone was canceled, and now you have an application that you enter your own information, and that application sends your request to different drivers until they pick you up. That is basically what I'm talking about. That is automation. It's eliminating middle people so that less people have to do the same job gets done, but less people have to do it. The machines are taking place. And also that represents that a lot of jobs in this specific industry are going to be lost. However, is not the end of it all, because the same way jobs are going to be lost, other opportunities are going to be created, and it's up to us to create those opportunities. And I wanted to bring, because I've seen a lot of resistance on our position when it comes to automation, I wanted to bring certain things that people don't seem to understand. As Latinos, we have to acknowledge that we are not the most technologic people. We are not necessarily the most tech savvy people, and the majority of our people are not in positions of, developing software or software engineering or technology or mathematics or even legal representation. A lot of our people, unfortunately, are in the service industry or manufacturing industry, and those jobs are going to be affected massively. And it's time for us to prepare and venture into something else, either in the field that we work already, create something that can replace you or can replace workers and can innovate, or just branching out to a different sector of the workforce. Now, I'm going to show you a small graphic. I'm going to try to remove as much things as I can from the screen so you guys can see it. But definitely, we can see the share of tasks that are susceptible to automation. And to be honest with you, is basically showing you how, depending on, ethnic groups or race and ethnicity and whatnot, is going to show you the amount of tasks or professions that we do, and if we are on a higher risk to actually be replaced by automation in those areas. And it's going to show, I'm going to show this graphic. I grabbed all this information, if you want to find it and you want to start looking into it, comes from the Brookings analysis of 2016 of the American Community Survey, and they actually did a whole year study to actually look deep into each community, each type of profession, to actually create a possible solution to the transition between IT and retail to automation. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of the information, but if you want to go through the whole analysis that they did, definitely look up the Brookings analysis. This is a college that actually specializes in IT and economics. So you definitely want to go check them out if you're very interested in this. But definitely in here, we can see that it's going to break down the demographics that will be affected not only by gender but also by race or ethnicity, depending on the tasks or the labors and professions that the people in that community does. And basically, between men and women are expected to lose 40% of to automation. 40% of what women do, or 40% of our professions, are going to be replaced by automation by 2030, if not earlier. And in men, 43% of what they do is going to be replaced by automation, most likely. Now, in the Hispanic or Latino demographic, we're at the highest risk of losing our jobs to automation at a 47%. Following our 47%, American Indian are 45% of losing their jobs or their livelihoods to automation. Then following the American Indian is Black Americans at a 44%, whites are 40%, Asian and Pacific Islander at a 39%. Now, what does this mean? Basically means that we either have to look for different jobs, or we have to wait for the government to give us something. Those are the two options that you have. And to be honest with you, I don't like to wait for the government to give me anything. So it's time for us to look for something to actually do. Now, the analysis goes a little bit deeper into what specific professions will lose to automation the most. And one of those graphics I brought for you guys today, and basically one of the top rated ones is food preparation and service related. And if you guys see at the top of the graphic, it shows the different demographics by ethnicity or race that will lose or that dominate that specific profession. And in food preparation and service related, Hispanic or Latinos are a very large number. The only reason I want to clarify why Black Americans are at a 3% less exposed to lose their jobs to automation is because there's a larger group of African Americans going into medicine related fields and legal related fields. So of course they have minimized what they're going to lose to automation. Is still high, it's still super high, but it's a little bit less because of that. So I think they started picking a profession based on what they were seeing that was trendy. And that's the only reason why, they have decreased that number of risk. Now, after that, in production, Latinos and Hispanics keeping one of the largest numbers. And if you guys see in building and grounds cleaning and maintenance, Latinos are one of the largest numbers here, making other communities having 20 to 22%, and we have over 34% in that aspect. So of course we have to start minimizing our participation or our representation in building and grounds cleaning, maintenance, food preparation, service related, and production as well, and also in construction and extraction, because those jobs are the ones that are going to experience a lot of automation in the next 8 years. And if that's the only skill that you have, at some point you're not going to have the capacity to keep up with the demands of the workforce. So I want to, like I said, I wanted to explain in depth, to people that are watching me, what jobs not to pursue in the future, or if you are employed right now and you have over 10 years to serve, still till you can retire, or you cannot retire before, because of course you're going to be impacted financially in a negative way, then you might consider right now the time to get either better training right now, or get a different education, or enhanced or post-grad education in anything related to software engineering or computer science or technology, anything that's in those fields, or even legal representation, um, in the healthcare system as well, and start transitioning to what the market actually is demanding from us, which is no longer retail, service industry, or food preparations. It's going to disappear completely. Now, I wanted to also bring the fact that a lot of people in our communities have started to go a little bit more to college, but we still have to do a little bit more according to the study. Because non college workers will see a greater job change from automation. If we see the graphics, if you put together, if you have less than high school, that means if you did not graduate from high school, 54% of the workers that did not finish high school will be affected by automation, because their jobs are the most expendable ones, and that are going to be almost completely replaced by machines at a 54%. So of course, if your level of education was not even high school, it's time to finish high school now. And another thing, if you graduated from high school, don't stop there. Don't stop there. Go take whatever degree that is related in this field and start educating yourself towards that field, because it's going to be the workforce. And if you don't have the, you know, competence to participate in the market, you will starve. You will be at the mercy of the government. Then we will start with the complainings and all this stuff, because in reality we didn't do our part. So even with high school, I'm going to need you guys to go to college, because high school only gives you 2% of a better position. It's still over half of the jobs disappearing. Now, if you graduated and you went through some college, it starts decreasing by 9% from less than high school at a 45%, but it's still a great number. So you still will run into the chance of having to compete with a lot of people for the same positions if you have some college. But if you finish your bachelor's degree, you still have a 69% of landing a job that needs you. And that is way more than half. That means that out of every 10 people, 7 people would get hired if they have a bachelor's degree in a related field. Now, if you graduate from a professional degree, that's a master's or a PhD, then you have 75% chance of actually landing a job, as long as it's in the fields that are going to be needed in the market. So basically, the whole graphic divides the group. When it's less than a bachelor's, you're a 49% on average, 49% chance of losing your job or having a job change from automation. And if you have a bachelor's degree or higher, you're at 29% risk. That doesn't mean that you're not at risk. It's just that you're at less risk of losing your job to automation. Now, another graphic that I wanted to bring was the potential for automation in the job market as a whole in the next 10 years. Well, 8 years. It will be 57 million at a low potential for automation. That's not even half of the jobs that we have today. Medium will be 52 million jobs. 36% will be at risk, from 30 to 70% at risk for automation. And on top of that, 36 million jobs, which is 25% of the workforce today, or the jobs that we have today in America, is at 70% or more risk of potential to be lost to automation. So definitely, we can see that more than half of the workforce is going to be reclassified, I will say. Now, there are different things, like I said, that can be done. And one of those things, like I said, it starts with you. Because if you read the whole, I had the opportunity to read the whole article. And if you read the whole article, the things that the government will have to do to actually improve the likelihood that you and other people like yourself um, will be employed after automation takes over, they will have to invest in you, in training you. And I want you to think that, to be honest with you, I see that Jose says many scholarships are available to minorities. Yes, there is a lot of scholarships dedicated to minorities. It's time to move and transition into technology and not being scared. Um, so definitely, guys, going back to what I've been saying about this whole automation, I wanted to bring you guys these details simply because it will be responsible of me to just tell you that this is happening and not explain it. And there was a lot of people that actually um, start asking me questions about this. And not that I am an expert, I am so far from it. I just started reading a lot about it and I want to share it with you guys. But definitely feel free to do your own investigation as well and start developing things. Taking a risk is good. You're supposed to fail, like I've said many times. And in the process, we will be able to learn. But it's time for us to actually stop complaining and start acting. Another graphic, and this is the last one I'm going to share with you guys before I let people in. It says current task automation potential, average wages, and educational requirements for representative occupations. So basically, this whole graphic is going to show us the potential of automation of these professions and what's the typical education requirements for it. And at the same time, it's going to tell you how much it pays. And something that I want you guys to pay attention to it is that the jobs usually that require less than a bachelor's degree and are at a higher risk of automation, those are the ones that pay the less, the very least. The less likely they are to be replaceable, the more valuable the job position is, which usually requires a bachelor's degree or more, the more those jobs pay. So packaging and filling machines operators and tenders are 100% of automation potential, with requiring less than a bachelor's degree. Fruit preparation workers only make $23,000 a year and are at a 91% of automation potential risk. And of course, it requires less than a bachelor's degree. The same with every single one of the list. If you guys see, speaking of professions, on what to go, what to do, what to look for, what to venture in to keep yourself competent in the upcoming workforce, I want you guys to see that one of the lowest, if not the lowest, uh, risk of automation potential is management analysis, paying $92,000 on average per year, and only have a 4% of risk to be lost to automation. Of course, you need a bachelor's degree, but if somebody that, because I know people watch me based on my analytics from 18 to 45 years old on average. So, of course, I know I have young people listening to me here. So, if you're not deciding what to go for college and whatnot, or if you're in your 20s or even in your 30s and you want to go back to college, consider management analysis and also software developers and applications. And even with those, registered nurses only have 29% to be replaced to automation, and they're still making $72,000 a year. So definitely you want to look into that. And also, computer programmers make a whooping $85,000 a year with only a 38% of risk of being replaced to automation. The rest of the list, I would say, is really tricky. When it comes to light truck or delivery services or packaging or food, you know, it's time to move from those professions, like I said. And if you think I'm crazy, look at what I have for you. Okay? Use it. Just use it. Because if you don't understand what I'm saying right now, then I do not know what to tell you. Okay, it's the only thing I can say. And to be honest with you guys, Monday I will close this series of the ending of retail, or the end of retail, with unfortunately what happened with this whole automation situation with the C19. And if you want to know how long, because I've had this discussion in the past few days after I did the first episode of the series, how long do we really have? You want to be here Monday. If you want to know which cities are going to change the most, and even and even Morena, you don't like her? Look, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, if you think I'm talking shit, if you think, that this is just dumb and we're crazy, look at our little beautiful vacation farewell card. Morena's favorite. So definitely, guys, like I said, yeah, she needs a tan, Morena. She looks too white. Too white. She's been in lockdown. Remember, we all of us lost our tan. Okay, I just recently started regaining my tan. I think in what, May? Yeah, in May. So trust me, we have all lost our tan. We look like salamandras here. Okay, so definitely, guys, going back to that Monday, I'm going to bring you guys that information, because even where you move is going to be attached to where these jobs are being created the most. Which areas of this nation, if you decide to live here in the United States in the upcoming 10, 20, 30, 40 years, or the rest of your life, you need to know which areas are going to be affected by automation the most, and which areas you want to purchase a piece of real estate and whatnot, and which areas you want to avoid. Or if you're into that field, you want to know which areas you want to go, so that you most likely find a job in automation or the new workforce that is coming in 2030. So definitely, like I said, this whole series is going to end is going to end that way, and it's going to end with actually telling you guys the last piece of information that I can share with you guys responsibly regarding this topic, which is where to go, what to do before this whole situation happens. Because make no mistake, the minute this whole job situation starts changing and a lot of people start getting either in or out of the workforce as we know it today, in and out of different cities, the housing prices are going to vary depending on the people that go there. So, like I said, salamandra. No, it's salamandra sundown. No, do you know what a salamandra is? I hope it's the same thing. But definitely, guys, Monday stream is going to be amazing. It's going to bring that information, and you want to know which areas are going to change the most when it comes to workforce. Now, before I let people in, I'm going to put the link down below. You guys know I go into my intermission, but before I do that, Please don't go anywhere before liking this video and subscribing if you haven't done so. And also, I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram so that you can keep up with everything that I am talking, especially since I'll be going on a vacation until mid-October. So definitely, guys, you want to follow me on Instagram so that you can keep up with me, and we can share information about things that are happening in Latin America and also here in our Latin diaspora, or even funny things. So definitely, if you want to keep up with me, make sure that you tune in and you actually also follow me on Instagram. Now, I shared the link if anybody wants to. Yeah, it's a lizard, Sundown. It is a lizard, but in Puerto Rico we call them salamandra. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna take 5 minutes. Like I said, get your drinks, get your snacks, get comfortable, get that extra pillow. The conversation is about to get good. Like I said, this topic specifically is something that we need to talk a lot more on, and it's going to be very entertaining. But in the meantime, it's 6:03 where I'm at. I will be back at 6:08. So make sure you stay tuned and relax. I'll be back in a few. And we are back, people. I hope everybody got comfortable, everybody got their drinks. I'm going to bring people in, but before I bring people in, I want to remind everybody that the views and statements of the guests do not necessarily represent those of the channel and or those of the panel members, as some comments may be offensive to select groups of people. Also, I want to remind people that by calling into the live show, you waive your rights to the use of your image and likeness for the purposes of this show. So now, without any further ado, I see that Rakim dropped off. I think the slow taps got him. What's up, Jose? How are you?
Good evening, Denise. How you doing tonight?
I am good. Oh, Rakim is back. They got him for a little second.
Good evening, Rakim. I think he's muted.
They still got him. Are you there, Rakim?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
I'm
can
sorry
hear
about
you.
that. I was having some audio issues.
So, Jose, what do you think about today's topic?
Okay, well, first of all, it's so sad about what happened to that young person. You know, at 21 years old, he just be getting life. So it's sad, but of course, because he's a brown person, so therefore the police authorities are not going to be in a big rush to try to find justice. Now, as far as the Yankees are concerned, they are the best team in baseball. 27 world titles, 40 league pennants, and 19 divisional titles. Enough said.
Oh my God. I told you guys, Yankees fans are no joke, man. They are no joke. They're coming for all of us. You know, they want to slap the shit out of us.
Well,
you know, they are unbearable right now. So, like I said, you see a Yankee fan, run.
Well, for good reason. They refer to as the evil empire.
Look at Morena. Morena's like, tell her, Jose.
Don't be a hater just because the Yankees are the best at baseball. No,
Christina, hi Christina. Look at what Christina says. She says, "Oh, don't play with Jose and his Yankees." LOL.
Now, as far as the main topics concerned, the fact of the matter is, this is not the first time there have been changes in society as far as professions. I mean, we can go back to the 19th century with the Industrial Revolution. I mean, there's always going to be change. Now, the question is, are you going to adapt to that change, or you're going to be left behind? And the fact of the matter is, we have to pay close attention to this information. And for those who are thinking about pursuing a collegiate education, to take a look, what jobs are going to remain. And as I stated before, there are many types of financial aid and scholarship for minorities. So therefore, you can try to avoid amassing a huge amount of student loan debt.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the best things you can do. And not only that, you can go and study overseas wherever is cheaper and just get your board. If you're studying medicine or whatnot, of course, you just get the board exam or the bar exam if you're studying law. But you find a way to make it work. Find a way to make it work, get it for cheaper, and just start working in that field.
Mhm.
And like I said, I love what you said when you mentioned that we have to adapt, and that is one of the biggest struggles of humankind.
Because you know why? Human beings, they don't like change. They like doing the same thing 10,000 million times, but yet they don't realize that change could be a good thing.
Mhm.
Change can give you an advantage. I mean, the fact of the matter is, as an undergraduate, I studied business. However, for whatever reason, I was never able to get a job within the field I studied. However, I was able to get work in social services.
Exactly, because you don't study just for one thing. You have to make it work with whatever the demand in the workforce is. So when it comes to selecting a career in college, like I said, I know the demographics that listen to me is for 18 to 45. when it comes to selecting a career in college, if you're still young, just go into what the market is demanding in the next 10 years. Because by the time you graduate, something can be in high demand today, but by the time you graduate, it decreases demand. So you
Mhm.
have to evaluate the market 10 years from when you start. So I'm going to move on to Rakim. Rakim, what are your thoughts on today's stream?
Oh well, um, it's sad to hear about that young man that lost his life in Florida in that vehicular accident. Um, that hits close to home because I have a best friend that I lost in a car accident. Um, Dealing with a person that was influenced off alcohol that decided to race another vehicle. So hopefully his family gets justice for this whole situation, and that the man that's responsible for it is brought to justice. As far as my boy LeBron goes, LeBron, don't even trip. LeBron, you've been dominant for the last 15 years, my dude. You've been dominant for the last 15 years. I really appreciate LeBron's talent, everything that he's brought to the game. Like you were saying, he's overall a great player. And of course, I'm a Windy City representative, so I got to go with Jordan. But LeBron is my second, definitely my second
Of
player.
course, of course. I'm still gonna go with Carlos Arroyo, Picolín Ortiz, JJ Barea, but we have to acknowledge that LeBron James is one of the most complete athletes in the league, and he was for a long time. A long time. So, many teams were not the same after he left. Let's just call it what it is.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And as far as the main topic goes, um, with the advancement of technology, things are definitely going to shift. Is going to be jobs is going to be lost as time goes on, and it's important, in my personal opinion, that I advise, African American or young Latin American kids to go into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mechanics, because that's what's actually paying at this time. It's important that a lot of young minorities learn how to write code, because as times is going on and things are moving more into the technology era, that if you're uneducated and you don't really have any skills to offer into the new market, you're going to be left in the wind. So it's important that people start thinking ahead of time and advising their children what to follow up on as far as STEM goes, and learning how to write code, because currently that's where the money is located.
Yeah, definitely. And it will be for a very long time. It's like I show with the professions here. If you look deep into what professions are going to be profitable in the years to come, it's not going to be the professions that most Latinos, unfortunately, are doing today. That's why I brought this subject here, because we are the most affected ethnic group and community or minority in the United States, and we are at risk. Like I showed in the beginning, we are at the higher percentage of actually losing or at risk to losing our jobs to automation, specifically the men, because men, a lot of men in our community and in every community are into infrastructure, construction, groundbreaking jobs. It's into manual jobs. So, of course, regardless of your ethnic group, men are still more at risk, because they're going to start being replaced by machine when it comes to manual labor. So, women, on the other hand, because we do less manual labor, our jobs, we're at 3% less risk of losing our job. It's still high as hell, but because it means that out of every 10 women, 4 will be unemployed. So, but at the same time, that's the only reason why it's higher. But when it comes to us in the Latino or Hispanic community, we're almost a half of our workforce will be hit by automation replacement. So that's a super high number. That's a super high number. That would mean that from an average of $52,000 a year that we make today, we will be making 26,000 on average when you calculate the amount of us here that are actually employed. The average household will the income will plummet. So at the end of the day, like I said, um, it's going back to what you're also saying, Rakim. We have to start going into the right professional paths.
Absolutely, absolutely. As you can see, based off of the chart that you showed, programming, those various fields are the ones that's making the most money. So if you are going to go into college, I recommend that kids go for STEM, because the last thing you want to do is not understand what field that you're going into, and not aware that whatever you may get a degree in may not make money. Therefore, you're still out of a job and you're in deep debt. So it's important that most parents sit their children down and try to teach them these things, because the world is definitely changing. And to think Japan is already ahead of us. Japan
Oh
is like
yeah.
10 years ahead of us in
Look,
technology.
I saw even Singapore is ahead of us. In Singapore, you learn how to build a circuit in kindergarten, while we're here singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star." They're building a circuit. So at the end of the day, we're so far behind. It's like I was talking to you the other day. It's the equivalent of past times when our indigenous people did not evolve past the bows and arrows and spears, and the rest of the world evolved into gunpowder. Who lost the
Exactly.
war? It's the same thing here with technology. We have to catch up. Because right now, nobody's going to go to war. It's a financial war. You position
Exactly.
yourself whatever you want. And we're losing. But, to the people that think that what we're discussing here is bullshit, like I said, that's literally a briefing on what Rakim said. Just use it. Use it.
Denise,
Yeah.
there's a problem with that, and I think you know what's the problem.
It makes too much sense.
There you go.
Ah,
There you go.
oh
And
my God.
you know what? And I'm sure the intellectually and mentally challenged people in the 19th century were saying the same type of garbage.
Yeah, yeah. Of course. This is a repetitive history. I've said it many times. The
Mm-hmm.
same things are coming to happen because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. It's
Yes.
just that simple. We're seeing
Mm-hmm.
it with the pandemic, we're seeing it with the mask, we're seeing it with everything. And the same thing is happening with our economy.
And and it's sad that both parties has politicized the pandemic.
Yep,
Okay, everybody is blaming the Republicans. The Republicans. I mean, the Democrats is just as guilty as anybody else. First of all, we had a president who did not take this issue seriously, and him himself got COVID, and he didn't do what needed to be done as far as like isolating himself for some length of time and what have you. And not only did he get COVID, but a lot of the people that worked with the president. And then in Florida, we have a governor that's trying to penalize local communities for putting mask mandates. While Florida is the number one state as far as new cases of COVID-19 and deaths.
that's just insane. Well, I heard that Governor Abbott from Texas just got C-19.
Yes, he did.
And I'm like, oh my God. But that goes to show that we live in a moronic world run by
Yeah.
morons. And who's
Yes.
more moronic, the politicians or the people that votes for them?
Wow.
Um,
I would say the people that vote, because it's
Yeah,
obvious that it's
yeah,
obvious that in this day and age, there's no reason for us to be ignorant.
yeah.
We have unlimited access to a large amount of
Information.
information. The wool can no longer be pulled over people's eyes. It's one thing to not know, but it's a difference to not want to know. And you have
mhm.
a lot of people out here that just don't want to know until it actually hits them, and then once it hits them, I can't feel bad for you.
Yeah, definitely, because it's like it's the chronicles of our announced death. You're telling people something. They see the data that justifies what you're telling them. They see the results if they don't follow what you're telling them and the data is telling them, and they still do the opposite. That's the world we're living in. So I always believe that people have the governments they deserve, because that's what they're working for. That's why I said, who's dumber, the people that voted for them or the politicians? Now, guys, go ahead, Ricken.
I was just going to say, as we saw earlier, even before the technology was advancing to this point, with online shopping and being able to, pay bills online and everything like that, especially like with online shopping, that has shut down a lot of brick and mortar stores as
Yeah.
time has went on. And that was just the beginning. Now we have, of course, MP3 players and different things like that. You can't even go into a Best Buy and see a CD section anymore.
Yeah,
Or,
it is not. It's not. It was not going to continue. The CD production stopped in 2012. Was the last time I saw a CD being made important. After that, I don't recall seeing CDs being made like that. They died. They were replaced with iPods first, and then iPhones became like this huge thing that took over. And when they integrated the music and the iPod became obsolete, that was it. It's a wrap.
yeah, because I was going to say that you don't even see iPods anymore. I remember
Yeah.
when it was just seemed like that was yesterday when that was like all the rave, and now it's just music is incorporated with your phone. You got a mini computer compiled into one little device.
Yeah. I still have the first vehicle that I purchased, and that's the only vehicle I own that has a CD player. And it's so nostalgic to see. Like when I had the bunch of CDs of old times, and it wasn't that old. I'm not even like an ancient person yet. um and it changed so fast. That's why I said, when I hear people like, oh no, that's not going to happen, there's no way that this is going to get replaced, oh there's no way that I just laugh, because like I said Monday, as a sound engineer, I saw engineers that had to sell their studios because they refused to acknowledge that the way we manipulated frequencies was going to change to a digital era, and they refused to adapt. So it's the same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Jose.
No, this is my phone. This is the S20, which is considered a very high advanced phone. In 5 years or so, this will become a relic.
Oh yeah, trust
I
me.
mean, because you'll probably have something that's gonna process data more quickly. That's able to put more content. That's able to put a whole bunch of apps and whatnot. So I'm sure within 5 years, this is going to be a relic.
Yeah, of
And
course.
this is a modern phone.
Look, Apple is even. I'm an Apple person, of course. Like I said, I'm in audio and whatnot, and not only that, it's to me it's a superior equipment. Don't come for me if you are an Android. I'm not dissing Androids. I used to be an Android fan. I just stopped. Now one
Well,
thing.
just leave my Yankees alone.
Oh, the Yankees and the Androids are to be avoided, okay? But to be honest with if I text you and I see that you have a green cloud, shame on you. What's up, Radical?
Yo, 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 yo! I heard you guys are doing some business talk. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying
yep.
I'm
What's
doing.
up? What's up, Rad?
Radical.
Yo, what up? What up, guys? What's going on? I'm doing the late night driving with the wifey and stuff. To de-stress and
Oh.
recalibrate all the romantic juices. You feel me? She right now.
Isn't that sweet?
All right, okay, all right. It's not that serious. Relax.
It is sweet.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm a thug.
It is sweet.
Nah, I'm a thug. Fuck that.
No.
What was
You're
it?
good for the heart.
What was it? We were smelling gunpowder. You know what I'm saying? We were shooting at maps. No, let me stop. No. We were no. I took it to some Mountain View range, and we just looked at the sunset, and we just went to a restaurant and stuff. So right now she is out of it. She's sleeping right now. So I'll make that now. Since the warden's asleep, the prisoners can play.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! That's just horrible. Don't even. Come on, Brad. Stop it. Stop it. You're saying that online, but I know that the minute you log off, you'll be like, baby, whatever you say.
It's okay, baby. You want me to rub your feet? I got you. Now, I'm not gonna lie. For the past few nights, I bought some like feet lotion things, and I've been rubbing her feet. And I'm like, it's okay, baby. Why you always standing up so much? Just sit down. It's okay. You know what I mean? but I'm still a thug though. So.
Oh my God.
Don't forget, Rad, you still from the Bronx.
Exactly.
Don't forget that.
Exactly.
No, I'm joking.
Yes, the land of the Yankees.
Exactly.
Oh my God, don't start the Yankee talk, Jose. We said it. You guys are unbearable. Okay.
New York Yankees.
Oh my God.
New York Yankees.
Okay, I'm about to boot you guys. It's been nice. No, I'm joking.
No. So I was hearing some of what y'all were talking about, how businesses and certain industries need to get with the times, and there's a lot of industries that are very, very, that showed throughout time, that are very apparent to those type of things. If you don't evolve with the times, you'll get left behind. You know what I'm saying? With the advent of the internet, nobody could have predicted the biggest advances the internet brought. Most people didn't. There were some small few that saw the internet as something huge, and look what the internet gave us. Credit card processors, McAfee, antivirus software, Uber, Amazon, things like that. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about industries evolving with their industries within time, that is very important. I'm gonna just give you guys a quick example. Look at the taxi industry as a whole.
Yeah.
Uber came in, dominated.
It's still dominating.
Exactly, completely dominated. And now they're struggling to even get their foot back into the door, to the point where a medallion in New York City, just because the taxi industry in New York City, it's its own like little mafia. Believe it or not, a medallion in New York City used to cost $1 million.
What?
$1 million?
Yes.
I'm dead serious.
Yes,
$1 million, to the point where you could have one medallion, right? You can own one medallion and rent out other taxis under that one medallion. Now Uber came into the game, and it made it watered down the medallion so bad that a medallion right now, last year, it was worth somewhere around $300,000.
Oh, wow.
From $1 million to $300,000 last year. That says a lot. So the answer of the taxi commission was, okay, let's try to disrupt them, and let's try to put these little laws. Guess what? Uber's money is bigger.
Yeah.
And they kept on bribing city officials. Now, city officials says, well, guess what? Our hands are tied, when in reality, it's not. So that's what Uber's doing. Now, what was their answer was, now the taxi commission in New York City made their own app. You know what I mean? And again, it's not as popular as obviously Uber, Lyft, and all these other places. My point is, it's absolutely true. Evolving with the times and trying to be stagnant will be dangerous to any business. I think, Denise, you said about the music industry. They tried to fight the internet when Napster came out so hard that they went from not only taking Napster down, and other little software started popping up like LimeWire, Kazaa, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
they try to fight the music industry so bad that they started suing individual people. And that tells you that once you start doing that, you automatically lost. You know, when you start
Yeah.
reaching that much. Now, when iTunes came out with Steve Jobs and said, "Listen, this is actually the future, and we can monopolize it," that's when it started to recover, little by little. Now streaming is a thing, and this is what
That's how you
you've been
make
saying.
money. That's how you make money.
Exactly.
It's like
This is what
in
Denise has been
music.
saying. Go ahead.
Look, in music right now, if you're a performer, you're not a writer, or you're not a producer and whatnot, or a DJ. DJs became huge. DJ Tiesto became huge because he just look. We went from analog recording actual musicians to a sample box. Okay, and that was a big shock in the early 2000s to us. So, we had to create music with that little box or with a MIDI controller that was like a small piano or something of that matter.
Wasn't it
So
like press tapes or something like that?
it
Like,
was press tapes in the past, but it wasn't like that now. Like, for example, a sample box, for people that don't understand audio like that, a sample box basically is like I grab a sound and I assign it to a button digitally. And when I press it, that sound gets played and I mix those sounds and create a song. That's what people that became really good at it, that were nobodies in the music industry, like DJ Tiesto, became really good at that, and they made a career out of that. That's the introduction of DJs. That's why we have DJ this, DJ that today, because they sample sometimes even pieces of music. And people will go to their concerts because what pays right now, the performer, is the live shows, which is why the music industry was hit so hard last year. So,
yeah, and
to be honest with you, look at the graphic that I exposed earlier, of the groups of people that are more at risk to lose jobs and their professions and their careers to automation. Hispanic and Latinos are number one. We're at 47%. Almost half of our workforce will be without a job. So, like I said, it's time for us to adapt to the change.
well, if we actually honored our three roots, no, let me stop.
Oh my god!
Oh no, but what? No, you're absolutely right. I think there was a website. There was a neat little website a couple of years ago that predicted when that industry will no longer need human, interaction.
Mhm.
And when you put like drivers there, it said by the year 2029, there's gonna be like no driver, like physical drivers, gonna be there. Obviously, they're gonna work out the kinks. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
physical drivers will be like non-existent. And
Yeah.
it's a sad reality. We
We
have
only
to.
have 8 years. We only have
Yeah,
eight years
we
to
have to
create something.
understand. We have to understand that whole the whole generation of people that said, you know what, let me just take a trade, and I'll be better off. Yeah, they're better off now, but this is what the industry is going with. Robotic animation. It's something that I'm excited for, to be honest with you.
Me
But
too.
but
Me too.
also, I know is going to be something devastating for the regular people in the regular class. I'm not trying to talk like I'm not part of it. Obviously, I am part of it.
Lord Radical Latino.
Yeah, yeah, but
Your
like,
Highness.
yeah, exactly. Pay homage. No, but it's you're absolutely right. The industry is moving to an automated, robotic, form. And again, I'm excited but also worried at the same time. Now I don't know if you guys have noticed, but especially in New York, the majority of the tolls are now automated. That used to be a job now,
Yeah,
but now
yeah,
it's
the same thing
automated.
here.
So it's again, slowly but surely, it's happening. You know,
Yeah, it's
slowly but surely
we
it's happening.
discussed, like we discussed Monday. You go into a Taco Bell or McDonald's today, you have less cashiers and more machines taking your order. So that's what I've had several people tell me that I'm crazy for what I'm saying. And basically, once again, as a briefing of what Radical just said, this is basically what Radical just said. That is basically what Radical just said. So we cannot just be crazy or not know what we're
what that
talking
mean?
about.
What that mean? What is that?
Use it, puñeta, a brain.
Oh. Okay. Good.
So basically, it's happening in our eyes, and it's like I said, it happened with the IT era, when a lot of people in the 80s, did not wanted to adapt to the IT era and whatnot. It happened in the 1930s with the industrial, and then the introduction of retail and whatnot. And unfortunately, we always have people left behind because they're waiting for the government to give them something. So they will resist and combat us in what we're talking about. But in reality, they're not looking at the numbers, because I've yet to have somebody come at me and tell me that what I'm saying is not true. And these projections that the University of Brookings did of the potential risk of automation for American jobs, and come at me with facts, because all they have is their emotions. Oh, I feel like that's not going to happen. Well, it is happening. It's been happening.
And I think COVID, I'm gonna be real. I believe COVID jump started something that would have took 10 to 15 years. It jump started that. And the reason why I say that is because look at all the buildings that were there for offices and for schools and stuff. COVID proved that you don't need a space to learn. All you need is a computer.
Yep.
That's all you need.
Yep.
And that says a lot. That really says a lot to some of these high learners and high, universities where you got to pay big bucks just to travel to go, where now all you got to do is just sit down and pay attention to a screen.
And at some point,
now that prestige, the prestige of that name is going to go down.
And at some point, a machine will teach you the curriculum.
Not only that, and I'm going to keep it real, and this might be a little bit far off, but this is how I see it. Invest, this is my prediction, invest in 3D printers. I'm not talking about buying one, I'm talking about investing in the companies. The reason why is because if a person can now download a gun, and yes, it happened already. If a person could download a CAD file, if anybody knows what a CAD file is, it's a 3D image that you put on a 3D printer and it just prints it out in high definition how it was made.
Did you watch Monday's stream on this topic as well, Radical, or you missed it?
No, I missed that.
Well, now that you're talking about 3D printers, I was showing some people that was here Monday that, even though we like to say that, Latinos won't get affected, blah, 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 there's already a community in Mexico that was not built by a Mexican corporation. It's actually, I believe it's
Japanese.
I think it's a Japanese or Singapore corporation. It was printing houses.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know that. I think
it's Onyx. It's called something like that.
Yeah, it was. I think their first big one. They 3D printed a house that was 8 stories. In a remote place in Japan. They just wanted to test out. That was the 800th test that they did. They just want to unveil it for the public, and they said that took that 8-story building took less than 2 weeks just to print out.
Jesus Christ! The houses are getting printed in 12 hours.
Yeah. So it's not gonna take much to figure out. Now you can start downloading cars. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
They're even printing organs.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, most of these industries that have been dominating for a long time now are gonna start feeling the effects again of the internet. You know what I mean? Nobody can stop anybody from printing an engine. The only thing that these companies could probably do is stop these individuals from assessing the software in order for everything to run properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if people could just get an engine, a couple of tires, and a steering wheel, and put it within a skeleton of a car, you could get a car running right there. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, of
So
course.
so what is it more for me to just put some rubber into a printer, give me some tires, also, some steel and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll 3D print my car right now if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that in the future, this is where I see things going. I see things going. Everything's gonna be automated. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
now the big question is gonna be, what's going to happen to all the people? What is going to happen to all the people? A lot of people are talking about universe-based income based on now the checks that is going out, inflation is going up.
But
So
you know what, Radical? I do believe in UBI.
I do. Me too. I'm not saying it's
Machines don't need to get
yeah,
paid.
yeah, yeah. It's not. I'm not saying that it's something wrong with it. What I'm saying is I believe in it as well. The thing is, there's going to be a couple of things that's going to happen. They're going to need two major players. What they're going to need is software engineers
Yep.
and maintenance people to keep these robots from running. And guess what? People are going to volunteer for it.
But you know what? I look into the mechanics because I thought about that, and they're actually creating robots to maintain themselves.
Oh, really? Look at
So they're
that.
not looking into mechanics right now. It's more into mathematics. When I share the professions that are getting more traction, that are the least potential today of being lost to automation, management analysis is only at 4%. Software developers and applications are 8%. Home health aides, also, maids and housekeeping are still at 18%. Registered nurses, but that's still the house and maids. If you think about it, you don't get paid, nor the home health aides. They don't get paid a lot of money. If you want to make a decent living, you have to at least be a registered nurse or a management analyst or a software developer or study computer network and stuff like that. But if you think about it, it's more towards computer. If you know how to work a computer, how to create software, how to create apps, how to develop stuff on the web, and how to code, that's more likely to not be lost to automation because you'll be completely creating stuff for people that want to create either cyber
And
stores
and
or
and
services and
yeah,
whatnot.
and I'm just want to let anybody know. I recently started to get into coding recently, and I started doing it on my iPad. If anybody knows anything about the iPad and the new developments that they have accomplished, now the iPad has a laptop chip inside of it, which is called an M1. Now they have a program called Swifty, which pretty much breaks down how coding works, and you can make an app in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that app basically breaks everything down for you, and it baby steps you to the point where you can start doing it on your own. I say that to say now coding is something so easily accessible to anybody right now. There's no excuse, you know. And I understand now that they're talking about artificial intelligence coding, on their own and fixing their own issues. I get it, but that's far within the future. I think if anybody wants to get into coding and want to get into, those big type of big type of spaces, in the industry, I think those are your best bets, and it's a very
Yeah.
easy way to start.
Yeah, and another thing I want to say to people, if you have learned something from real estate, one of the reasons why real estate was profitable in this era of retail and IT, one of the reasons why it was profitable is because it will give businesses a space to develop themselves and promote and sell their products or services. When you become an app developer or a software developer, you're actually owning real estate in the web. You're creating that space for people. So that's where the money's at. That's something that, I want people to understand that. Like I said today at the beginning, I'm going to try to simplify this term so that people can understand it better, because I know a lot of people was confused Monday. But basically, that's what a software developer or an app developer does. It creates real estate for companies and people that provide services on the web so that everybody can go, or the clients can go and access them. So now, guys, I'm going to start wrapping this up. So I'm going to go with final thoughts. Jose, final thoughts for today.
First of all, thank you, Denise, for allowing me to be part of this stream. As always, you give great information. It is unfortunate that the mentally and intellectually challenged people cannot accept or deal with this information. Exactly. And unfortunately, that community is ever expanding. Um, I just hope that they do find justice for the people that killed this young person, because at 21 years old, you're just starting life. Now, as far as the Yanks rule.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
1918. No, sorry.
Oh my God. You guys are really unbearable. Did you see, guys? I was not
No,
lying.
we're not. No. We're not.
Yankee fans are unbearable as hell.
You just hate it. You're just a hater because we have the best team in baseball. That's all.
Oh my God. I'm not
But
going to even argue to that.
okay, but as far as the main topic, I just want to say to the people who are like young, like 18, 19, 20 years old, um, you really consider where you want to pursue your career, trying to find something that's going to be able to adapt to the changes that's coming. Again, there are many types of financial aid and scholarships that are available, particularly to minorities. Of course, I'm going to close the same way I always close. People, please, please be careful out there, because we're still dealing with C-19, and we have to avoid contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their massive stupidity and insanity.
Did you get the vaccine, Jose?
Yes, I did,
Yeah, I got
and
my.
it was my choice.
Yeah,
And
I got my.
and my
Sorry, go ahead.
and I've been telling people from the get-go the same information. Speak with your doctor first about any concerns you have about getting it or not getting it, getting the vaccine. Go onto the CDC website, get as much information that
No,
you
no, no.
can.
You can't trust that. You can't trust that.
Okay.
Radical, stop. Jose, I'm going to put you backstage. Radical is just unbearable. Now, Rakim, final thoughts on today's topic.
Oh, well, my final thoughts on today's topic. One thing I didn't get a chance to touch on is OnlyFans trying to change up their image.
Yep.
In the words of Kevin Samuels, winter is coming, so you better lace up your Timbs and get your
You're.
Canada Goose, because
You're.
it's gonna be a real brutal it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a real brutal winter for
Get your
some
bubble
people out
coats
there.
ready.
Yep.
Yeah, get that Canada Goose laced up. So
Yep. McDonald's is hiring.
yeah,
You know?
McDonald's, UPS, and everything in between. So nothing lasts forever. And that's one
Yep.
thing that people need to understand, whether we talking about technology, whether we talking about retail or even sex work, nothing lasts forever. So, you better get while the getting is good. And then after that, you better have your plans mapped out, because you're going to have to, because things are changing. And as far as, what's going on with technology, like you said, this has been repeated on and on throughout history. As anybody that can remember, steel mills and, like, power plants, coal mines, all of those was the heart of America, as far as for the poor class of people, or, that was looking to work and make a decent living. Most of those jobs are no longer here. A lot, even with coal mining jobs, they're non-existent, because most places don't use coal anymore. And people that made a living within those jobs, they didn't have many plans mapped out. So after that, they had to learn something new and try to play catch up. And that's what you want to prevent when you're talking about, moving into a different direction into the future, especially with technology. You never want to be in a position where you're trying to play catch up. You want to be in a position where you're ahead. So you want to be able to analyze things and study things and know what's going to take place in the future, or at least have a good prediction to invest your time and invest your money into your education, and be able to stand on your own too when that time comes. And don't, rely on the government. When has the government ever had the people's best interests at heart?
Yeah,
That's all I got to
people.
say.
One thing, I'm gonna put you backstage. Thank you, Rakim. One thing that I learned when I was researching this topic to bring you guys the information is that now the government is still in the looks of implementing the LILAs. The LILAs will be basically tax exemptions that will be given, or tax credits that it will be given if you acquire an education that will keep you competent in the upcoming workforce, which is AKA um, automation and AI. So definitely, guys, you don't want to wait for the government to pay for something that probably is not going to be top notch. It's going to be the very minimum so that you can become someone's employee, and you don't know how it's going to be. So I'm going to let Radical Latino say his final thoughts. Go ahead, Radical.
Yeah. All right. Listen. I don't know if you touched on the whole OnlyFans thing.
Yeah,
But,
go ahead. You can talk about it.
But my thoughts on the OnlyFans thing is this was bound to happen. It wasn't a secret. That company wanted to go mainstream, and it was being stopped at every angle, to the point where the credit card processor that OnlyFans uses was going to restrict them. So they had a lot to do.
To lose.
They had a lot to lose and a lot to do to clean up. They didn't even have an app on the App Store on Android or Apple, because it goes against their company policies. Now that OnlyFans is taking a stance, one, it's unfortunate because these sex workers made the platform what it is, but also we got to understand that anything that wants to go mainstream isn't going to be on top of sex work.
Oh yeah. It's the same with every industry.
Yeah, what OnlyFans could do is have their OnlyFans X-rated section. They could probably do that, or not tie into OnlyFans or something like that. But I'm seeing some of these 1% OnlyFans women literally going crazy over it, saying, "Oh my God, how can they do that?" And this is something I've always said, and plenty of people said it. Men like Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, No Jumper, all these platforms who had these OnlyFans women on top always asked them the same thing, and they always had the same response. What is your backup plan? Because your looks are going to go away, or OnlyFans is not going to have you shaking your tatas all over the place. And the majority of them said, I don't have a backup plan, but I think I'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what? And the thing is, it's a very easy solution. What if they got all that pull and they're literally 1% of earners? What they can do is make a website of themselves, put the same prices, and put the same content out that people can still pay. It's not that hard. People are going to migrate from OnlyFans to your own personal website so you won't miss the content for these people not to miss it. It's not that hard.
No, it's not. Isn't that
hard.
It's basically cyberspace that you're creating for yourself. It's like when strip clubs open. Yeah,
that's all it is. And I understand if certain women, because certain guys will go to certain women just for exclusivity. I get it. What one of these women can do, just make their own little OnlyFans site. You know what I'm saying? Be smart about it. All those $10K, $20K a month. Don't tell me that shit just went from for hair, lip fillers, and BBLs.
It did. Yeah. It unfortunately it did.
Yeah. And I'm not saying all the women. I'm just saying the most of them. They right now they're kicking themselves because they were like, God damn it, these men up in here in these spaces were right.
The patriarchy.
Exactly. The thing is, men, we know what accountability is because we face it all the time. Women, for the most part, they don't. You know what I'm saying? We society always protected y'all. So this is what I was always saying. They need a backup plan. If they didn't invest in cryptocurrency, then I don't know what the hell they were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, they bought Birkins. They have plastic surgery.
So in like real talk, I don't care. I'm happy. If no woman actually invested out of that shit, oh well, ha ha, because you were the dumb one to think that this shit was gonna last forever. And the writing is on the fucking wall.
Yeah,
it was on. Listen, it was on the wall literally 6 months ago, when the owner, I don't know if you read this, but the owner who made OnlyFans got dropped off because of his board. His board voted him the hell out.
Wow, I didn't hear that part.
That says a lot. First of all, if anybody knows. The owner is the same person that was an angel investor for Pornhub. So, that owner of OnlyFans was also connected to some shady child penal thing up in the Philippines.
Jesus Christ.
Or whatever the case is. He wanted to do something for the States. So, he ended up getting the thing for the States or whatever the case is, and it blew up. He got angel investors that got into the thing. Now it was really hard for companies to invest into OnlyFans because it's just sex work. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. So what ended up happening 6 months? No, I think was it 8 months ago? The board decided to drop the owner. They were like, get the fuck out of here. And somebody, and the new person that they elected said, we're going to take this into a newer direction. What you thought it was.
Jesus
you know
Christ.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, it was not going to be sex.
Yeah, what do you think it was? These people want to get on these people's phone. They want to dedicate an app on these people's phone. You really think that
but do you know the amount of money? Do you know the amount of money that you make with softwares?
Exactly.
Do you know the amount of money that apps make by selling your information and your impulses?
Not only that, having little ads run in the at the bottom.
But those ads go according to your reactions and what you look in the app. So they sell those. I think per app they gain like what, 13 cents, something like that. Because they are supposed to make you buy something. That's why a lot of people think that their phones are listening to them, but in reality, it's the algorithm. Go ahead.
Check this out. The guy. Do you remember Flappy Birds? Remember that game?
No, I did not play.
Okay.
I don't know. Play video games.
Okay, Flappy Birds was a little small game, very simple, that everybody was going crazy. It was a big craze, right? Like a couple of years ago, everybody was going crazy over it.
Like Candy Crush.
Yeah, like Candy Crush. That's all it was. It was just moving a bird up and down, so avoiding some pipes. That's all it was, right? The guy who made it said he did it in one afternoon. It wasn't that serious, right? And it was free. What? And this dude that did it, he was living in China. That first month, just by ads alone, he already made $1 million. Guess what he ended up doing? Getting a visa to the United States. Because he said getting all that money up in China was going to be dangerous for him. Because obviously the government and all this other stuff, I get it, was going to be dangerous for him. So that's what he ended up doing, coming to the United States. After that craze, dude, he was an overnight millionaire. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, what I'm trying to get at is that don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have multiple streams of income. Don't only rely on one thing. I'm going to even give it as a real world example. If you're working a job that's paying the bills, but unfortunately you're living check to check, see what you're good at. Get something that if you're good in music producing, if you're good in making beats, if you're good in, I don't know, if you got a personality, it doesn't cost much to get yourself out there. If you're making beats or whatever, and that's what your passion is, and you want to be a producer, download a software, get yourself a good computer, and make beats and put them free on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's how you get your name out there. You know, little by little. You know what I'm saying? Invest in yourself.
And doing parties and doing all kinds of stuff. And getting opening gigs for other artists that are more established and whatnot.
Exactly. You know, get yourself a logo and stuff. Invest in yourself. If you got a job that you're living check, save some money. Don't take the neighborhood thought out that 1 week. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to the club with your boys and ball out on $1 bills. You know what I'm saying? Save your money. Get yourself a good computer. Do your research, and that's it. Not even. You could probably make your beats on your phone if that's what your passion is. If your passion is photography, it is what it is. Learn how to get your foot in the door and work on your craft. Because nobody can take your craft away. No one can take your craft away. Definitely. You'll die with your craft, and you'll be known, if you're really good at it, you'll be known as a legend, believe it or not. So that's my best advice. For these women out here, you know what I'm saying, on OnlyFans, who are ripping their extensions out and not knowing what to do next. Listen, the writing was on the wall. And guess what? The writing is on the wall because of your age. Your looks is not going to last forever. If you really still want to be on the sex work thing, make yourself a fucking company brand.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Definitely.
Get yourself a bunch of girls. Let them, put them in a house or whatever it is. Make videos, photos, and all this other stuff. It's not that fucking hard, okay? But a lot of people don't think, more term or future or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't think it like that, but hey, whatever. I'm just a fucking guy on the internet, right?
That's usually how it is. But you know how these people are, Radical. They don't listen. They just want to come at us.
If you're so smart, how come you aren't rich? You know what I mean? So,
we haven't made these mistakes as well.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna put you backstage, Radical. All right. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for tuning in. And before I go, guys, on my final thoughts, one thing I want to say before I go to final thoughts, guys, I always share a few things. One of the things that I want to share before I give my last thoughts is That is right. That's MK's Melanated Nights Echo Chamber. So, like he said before, it's going to be once a month. So, guys, go and subscribe. I put the link in the chat. So, make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. And when you press the bell, like I mentioned before, make sure you touch and press all so that you can get notified when we go live, either here on Latin Explaining or in Melanated Nights Echo Chamber. So that's the way the algorithm works. Now, guys, before I leave, I want to leave you guys with this. You know, we're running into a global workforce crisis that's coming near 2030. And to be honest with you, what's coming is a huge mismatch of skills that will keep you competent in the workforce. So you either wait to be in limbo and go into a financial nosedive and then wait for the government to come save you, or you can save yourself and start building today when you still have the money and the means to actually do something for yourself and your loved ones, and also spread the words to other people. So definitely, guys, you know, there's many things you can do to actually do this. Like most of the panelists even share with you their own experiences. So of course, guys, you want to look for professions that are going to be cohesive with the workforce in less than 8 years, because in 4 months it's going to be 2022, and if this happens in 2030, you have less than 8 years. So it's time to make a decision, guys. Like I said, Monday I'm going to address the fact of places to go in America and this nation that will be most affected or replaced by automation. If you're into tech or you're studying anything that has to do into science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, you want to go to these cities. And if you want to, if it's in your future purchasing a property, you want to be able to locate where the job demand is going to be at. The same, if you're not into this, I'm also going to tell you which areas are not going to be as likely to be implementing automation at its fullest, so that you can also plan ahead, because that's what it's all about. Now, guys, like we all said today, use it, puñeta. It's time that you grab your brain and just use it. You know, no more stupidity, no more donkey moves. And like I said, I know I'm only speaking to 10% of the population, but come on now, guys. Let's just stay competent. Let's stay productive. It has been a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you very much for allowing me into your homes. And before I go, I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram, denise.gonzalez.villegas1, so that you can keep up with me, especially now since this first season of Latin Explaining is about to end Monday with the last episode of this series. So definitely you want to keep up with me while I'm on vacation. I might pop here and there on Instagram. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram, guys. Now, without any further ado, like I said before, it has been a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much for allowing me into your homes and your devices. This is Denise Gonzalez on another episode of Latin Explaining. So I'll see you guys Monday. Have a nice weekend, guys. Peace.